Yeah. I get that feeling in my stomach, like I'm feeling for a come up, like a pregnant woman eating for her unborn son or daughter. Serial killer with a splash of cold milk. These men are built by weight, lactic acid, home skills. For the massive more meals, for the gastric hole still. Listen, we may clash, but the titans don't chill. This is food for four, food for you all. We ain't the news, just a crew with the tools for the sport. Fast food.
Fast Food Podcast. I go by the name of Morgan Heights. I'm with two of my illustrious co-hosts, Trim Trimmer, who's got the keys to my bimmer. And
Yes.
and Drizzy, Sack Effect, Freckles.
Yes, I am.
We have a special guest today. Been waiting to have a conversation with this Donny for a hot minute. We've known each other for a very long time, and I felt like it was appropriate. I felt like it was necessary, and I felt like it was timely. So I want to give a round of applause to the one and only Genesis Elijah.
What's up?
How we doing, young sir?
I'm doing well, man. I can't even lie. I'm doing better than I've ever done before.
I like that. I like that. It's quite apt to say that you're a family man right now.
Yeah.
Settled.
Yeah, 100%.
We're all grown, innit?
Too grown, man. Bro, my eldest daughter's 18, bro.
I'll do it 25.
Yeah, see?
That's crazy.
She came in at like 3:30 this morning. I've been in bed from 11. I'm like, what you lot doing?
It was outside.
Yeah, they're outside, I'm inside, man.
That's the roles are reversed.
Proper. Yeah.
My God. So everything's blessed.
Yeah, man. Everything's
Health.
blessed. Yeah, like health. We've had a few ups and down health scares and stuff, but like the way I see it, man, it's like the work. If you're gonna make it through the worst, then you're good.
Yeah.
Even when it comes down to it, like we're all good. We're all good.
So I want to know what's happening with your life, with music right now. What's the moves? What's going on there? Talk
Music's
to me.
going good, man. Like, so I made a little switch. So last year I did a madness and I did like a single every week. I put out so I did 53 songs together. I put like 4 albums out, and just having fun with it, just having fun with the music. Then I decided I'm gonna do a shift away from kind of more traditional hip hop and grime stuff. I'm moving to drum and bass and garage.
Yeah.
So this whole year has really just been setting that up and making sure that all the things I need to make sure are right. So dealing with certain labels and just figuring out how I'm gonna fund it and all that kind of stuff. So, but at the same time, while doing that, I'm in a totally different scene, meeting different people, making different moves, and it's just kind of taking me to another level, man.
So the new project is going to be what?
It's probably going to be. I'm dropping singles, so you're going to hear a few drum and bass singles,
right?
Then you're going to hear some garage singles, and then at some point next year there'll be a project which will be drum and bass and garage.
So that's interesting. To know that you're basically going back into time, really.
100%. Like how it almost before hip hop, bearing in mind, say I'm a kid, I'm listening to what my cousins are listening to. Mm-hmm. So they're listening to rave, they're listening to the jungle, so I'm hearing that kind of stuff. Before they got deep into hip hop, then I switched to hip hop. So yeah, you're correct. It's going back into almost kind of my first introduction to music outside of the church music I grew up around.
Of course.
So yeah, definitely.
Go for it.
Do you think that we're ever going to get to a space again where I know the drum and bass scene is still bubbling, right? Obviously, you have to know people that know people like, yo, this is where these raves are happening, and yo, this summer, these festivals going, etc., etc. But do you think we're going to ever get to a point again? Because you know things always go around in cycles, right?
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to get to a point where the jungle, the D&B and stuff like that is going to be at the forefront of everything you see?
Maybe not, and that's okay. The way I see it, it's almost like we always say, the biggest music in the world is hip hop, right? And it's like, it is. It's, the way I see it, it's like that's land, and it's everywhere. Yeah. But the dance scene is water, and there's way more water on earth than there is land. True. And it's like you just don't see it a lot. But when you start looking, you're like, wait, you look. There's raves every night. Like, you see some of these drum and bass MCs are doing 3 shows a night.
Yeah.
All week. And getting paid. And it's
Properly.
like,
Yeah.
So you're like,
Just seeing.
because I think one of the problems we have here, especially like in hip hop, in UK hip hop, one of the problems, you walk into a room with a UK hip hop event, everyone's a rapper. There's no fans. Like, we all rap. And all we're doing is, yo, check my track. Here's my CD. Here's my CD. Whereas when you go into these dance places, it's like, nah, they're here to rave. They're here to have fun. They're here to, you know what I mean? So you almost have, there's so much more real estate for you as an artist to actually sell what you're selling and bring your product to the forefront.
So it sounds like to me that you kind of did a little bit of research and a little bit of just, was that your surroundings? Was that what you were doing, where you were going to? Or did you just get inspired to make that music again? What was that?
I kind of got inspired, but I kind of fell into it like, you know, in a weird way. So the producer I was working with at the time was working with a guy called Brucey. And at the moment, Brucey's massive in the drum and bass scene. And it kind of just like, one of the reasons I was never really into drum and bass before was I was always like, nah, they ain't really lyrical. Man's are just saying anything. Like, the bars ain't really the bars. Then I started hearing drum and bass guys that are spitting, like really spitting. And I'm like, wait, what? I do this. So if you lot are doing that, let me jump in as well. You know what I mean? So hearing that and then having a producer that I had at the time, or that I still kind of work with Shapes, and having those links kind of just showed me a whole different world. And then things just started moving really fast. So when I kind of looked at the terrain and was like, well, who are the labels? Who were the big labels? So it was at Hospital, it was at V Recordings, Shogun Audio. I started just making moves, and before I know it, I'm in Hospital office, like making making music, and then got a single signed to V Recordings, and then doing some stuff with Shogun Audio. So it all just started happening. I'm just like, cool, like this. I would say go where the love is, and when you start feeling it, just keep going with it, man. Like, okay, these guys are feeling what you're doing, then just keep moving with it. Whereas I always felt with hip hop and rap, I'm always trying to bang against that wall.
Yes.
I'm always the underdog.
Yes.
It's always like, yo.
I know that feeling.
You know what I mean?
I know
like,
that
I know
feeling.
you know. So it's like you're always trying to fight to get onto these spaces. And it's like, yo, if you don't want me in the cookout, I ain't coming to the cookout, man. There's one over there where they're just like, yeah, come eat. So it's like, yeah, let me go do that. And I've felt that a lot in not just the drum and bass scene, but also even in grime, man. I felt more love in grime than I did in hip hop.
Yeah. It's,
Like,
I could attest to that.
And to me, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of times, because like I said, everyone in UK hip hop is a rapper, so you're a threat to everyone. Like, it's all everyone's competition. Whereas in other genres, it's just like, yeah, we're gonna have that competition, but we're here to have fun. Yeah. Like, we're trying to shut down raves.
It's different.
Yeah, very different. Like, just what you're trying to do is different.
I actually started off my career writing and recording over drum and bass. Right. Originally. Trim can attest to that. Yeah. A good friend of mine called Aaron Carrington. And it was weird because there's that pocket within drum and bass where you can actually just rap because of I forgot the speed of drum and bass actually.
It's like 175, but which is like 87.
That's right, yeah, which is... Yeah.
And that's like, you know, as a rapper, 87 is...
It's calm.
Yeah.
It's calm. So I used to, and that's kind of how that was the start. So it was like, just rapping over the drum and bass beats, and I never did the skippy thing. I just literally just barred off, and I just learnt my craft from that. So I can see where you would find it pretty straightforward to make the transition.
100%. And I've always been the person who's like, I've never been someone who's like, oh, what tempo do you prefer? I'd be like, I don't care. Any tempo, any genre. Yeah. So I've never been a kind of person who was like, even back in the day when grime was really kind of starting, and it was like, that's the double time is a bit too. I'm like, nah, I love that. Yeah. Because I was doing double time even before that. I mean, we started off with the Bone Thugs and Harmony stuff, which was double time. Yes. So to me, I've always been, I don't care what the tempo is, I don't care what the genre is. I feel like if you can rap, if you can bar, you can do it on anything. And if you can't do it on anything, then you ain't even, you know what I mean? Yeah. You're stuck in that lane.
It's weird because music coming up from when I started till now, obviously the genre has changed, especially in the UK where drum and bass, grime, garage, EDM, all that sort of stuff. It varies. I struggled with, and I don't know what it was, but I struggled with finding my home because I was so versatile. And at the time when I was coming up, I thought the versatility for me was the key. But looking at it, I don't know if it was a thing where I should have just homed in on a certain sound. But again, when I'm hearing you speak about it, I just found love.
Yeah.
So there would be Dr. Mika who'd come to the studio and they would just be like, well, this is what we're doing. And I'm like, I guess so. Do you know what I mean? And I was never afraid of adjusting because it was just, the music was in me. Yeah. So I was just, I felt lost to a degree. And when I look back on my career as an artist, I don't know if I should have just stuck to one particular sound or was just what it was
It
about.
went the way that, obviously being present and that to it, I think it went the way it was meant to go. Right. But I still think that there's more to come. So it's just
but you don't want to. You don't want to, like, a lot of our favorite MCs per se have a catalog of. They got the boom bap hip hop, then they got the Swiss Beats hip hop, then they got the Timbaland hip hop, then they got the Neptunes hip hop, and the Neptunes hip hop alone beats. There's some Neptunes beats you don't even know the Neptunes did. Like, I feel like a proper MC per se, mic controller, has it might take you a minute or two, but you're not afraid to step into that Coliseum, regardless of what the beats is. And a lot, I mean, Hov's got a what was it, that Punjabi song that was killing it back in the day. Yeah. He's got a verse on that, and it doesn't sound out of place. Obviously, he probably had to rework. How am I gonna jump on this? And but then, Is That Your Chick record? That's a lot of garage MCs play that beat, and they, you know what I mean? So
mix it, everything.
Yeah, so it's, if you're in it, it might take a minute or two, but I think versatility, especially now, is key, bro. Key.
See, I think what you're saying about not knowing, not feeling at home in a genre, I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
And I think if you talk about guys who, if you got your foundation in a sound, then I feel like you kind of feel a bit more free to move, yeah? Right. But when you're kind of like, I would say, like, obviously I've been doing music for a very long time. Yeah. I would never say that I've blown or I'm a big artist in any genre. I started off in hip hop, but like, there's no, if you go onto my Spotify, you're not gonna find like any 10 million played tracks, right? Yeah. So you can't say, oh, this is, I mean, where you grew up in. So I think it's harder for underground artists because we feel like we need to put our flag in a genre before we can move out.
Move a branch.
But we don't want to do that. We want to go. We want to do everything. Yeah. So I feel like back in the day, that was a bit harder. Now I still think it's a detriment. Like, I still think if I stuck to one genre, it would be easier for people to market me. Easier because when I talk to these labels, one of the things they always say, like, what's your 30-second pitch and
all of that.
Yeah, like, so who do you like? Who do you sound like? Who would you put your sound with? And I can say it could be Rock Marciano, but then it could be Drake, but then it could be whoever. You know what I mean? And they might not even go together.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm always like, I'm never thinking about the consumer unless the consumer's like me.
Right.
So most people don't just listen to one thing.
That's right.
I listen to everything. And I make music for the person like me who...
Dibble and dabble.
Yeah.
Listens to one thing. Don't listen to one particular thing. It's real. And I commend you for that. And because obviously, again, we've known each other for a long time through the industry. And I've seen what you're doing and I've checked your moves. And the fact that you're still here doing it, bro, I'm proud, first and foremost. I'm very proud. And I just want you to keep going. I also noticed that you're doing advertising now. What's going on here? I saw the churro situation.
Yeah, I'm about in it. One of the things I do is I just make sure that I'm visible, so that if people want something, they know to get me.
Right.
And that's just one of. I've always found that if I just keep moving, opportunities come.
Yeah.
And that's just a random opportunity that just came. I might not do anything like that again.
Yeah.
But it's there. It's got people talking.
No, it's good.
Yeah. So
there's lanes.
Yeah.
There's lanes, and I think the older we get as well, is the more we have to accept that it's not where we started is not always going to be where we end up, and you have to just let yourself go of that. And that's now talking to you about what you're doing. It sounds like you've got that clear vision in mind. That listen, I'm who I am, but at the same time, I am versatile. Yeah. And I can move and shake. And is that because you're outside a lot? Is that because you're socializing a lot, or is that online stuff?
It's online stuff. I don't socialize a lot. Like I'm a homebody.
I thought that.
Yeah, you don't see me outside unless it's
for the bag.
Yeah, it's for for real. Like I'm not really. If you see me at an event, I'm there for a reason.
Yeah.
Or I'm really there supporting. Yeah. So like, but I think I understand that you do have to be outside if you want to make these connections, man.
Yeah.
Like it's just the way the game goes.
Yeah.
So I feel like in my early part of my career, that hurt me. Yeah. Of always being like the attitude. I kind of thought it was a good thing to just be like, nah, I'm in my circle, I'm with my boys. That's it. I don't mess with no one else. Yeah. I thought that was a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It wasted a lot of time because even the attitude of like, nah, we don't mess with no labels, man. We're independent. Yeah. Okay, cool. Go be independent by yourself. You ain't making no money either.
Yeah.
So there's so many things that when I came into UK hip hop, the mentality was all wrong. Yeah. And I was tapped into it. And I was just like, I want to be like these guys. And then it's funny because now, like you said, we're 20 years further into the game, and I'm looking back at some of the people I came up with, I'm like, I'm so glad I learned. I didn't want to be like you guys because you're still where you were damn near 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's cool. You made some good tunes back in the day, but you didn't progress. And I've always wanted to progress. And I think the opportunities have come for me because I've always been willing as well. So people have brought things to me, and I've just been like, yeah, let me try it. And another thing, I've never been a dickhead. I've always been like, I'm just cool with people. Yeah. Like I'm just myself.
You've always been, I've known but that's why we clicked up.
Yeah, just
because
blessed.
It's always
normal. 100%. Like I've never been on no, I'm a bad man. I got, you know what I mean? Yeah. Nah, don't front. I'm just cool. Like, you know me, so many people that I've helped just because, like, if I have something, you got something. Yeah. And that's the way I've always been. Yeah. And some of these opportunities that have come to me have come in the most random ways. Like I say, the biggest opportunity I had was I did a voiceover. I wrote an advert. Yeah, that changed my whole life.
Tell me about that.
So way back in the day, there was a producer that I used to move around with, a guy called Dave. He was a friend of a friend, like one of my brother's friends, and we were always cool. And over the years, we always just like, you know what I mean, how you doing? You good? If he had to throw me some beats, we do some stuff and whatever, man. And then he's started working in an agency. So one day he hits me up and he's like, oh, do you want to do some voiceover stuff? I'm like, yeah, cool. So I started doing this voiceover stuff. And it's cool. It's like, it's okay money. Like, you know what I mean? You make $1,000 here and there. Yeah, man. Big, cool. And especially like, again, being an independent artist where all I'm doing is music, at that time, $1,000 here and there was a lot of money. So he was like, you know what I mean? Helping man out. Yeah. So then one day he hits me up and he's like, yo, they got this company called Tullamore Whiskey. They want a poem. Okay. Like, could you do that? Okay. Like, here's the idea for it.
Right.
Bro, I wrote this idea in about 10 minutes. I said, I'm ready. Like, he said, we're gonna do a conference call tomorrow morning. Like, if they like it, we'll go forward. The conference called me. I spit this verse that I just wrote. Silence. I'm thinking, oh man, I think I messed this up, you know? Like, then they're like, that was incredible. Yeah. Oh my God, that was amazing. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, yeah. Then he tells me the bag, and I'm just like, whoa. Okay. So I tell my wife, I didn't even tell her the whole amount because I know she'd go crazy. I told her half.
Bro, you can't tell the wife, bro. Bro, I get tax rebates. Yeah. She might listen to that. Yeah. No, but yeah, that's it. Man. That's real talk. Yeah. So is that something that you want to keep doing in the 100%. Future?
Yeah, because what it shows you as well is like a lot of times we have this skill. So our skill might be writing, and we feel like the only place our skill has value is over the beats in this genre. Yeah. That's not the case. There's other places that you can use that skill. Even with some of the stuff I've done with my youth work. Right. That came from, again, just doing what I'm doing. Someone hit me up going, yo, do you want to like do something with the kids and set up a little. I'm like, yeah, cool. And then finding myself in places where I'm getting paid from rapping, and in ways I never thought I would. And to me, that's the bit that a lot of young people need to understand. Like, yeah, you've got these talents, but it's not just this one lane. You don't have to just look and go, oh, I want to be Drake. Like, nah, there's so many other places where you can like make a living and have fun doing the thing that you love. And that's really got to be the key. The key is, how can you do the thing that you love and make a living from it?
That's the key.
So that's definitely the journey. And that's why these things like the adverts and the Turo business, all that kind of stuff, it just comes from understanding that you have a value to your talent. Like I had this guy, so I used to do music videos as well. So I'm doing the music videos, and at the time I'm doing it for this rappers and everyone, and we're doing videos, £250 for a music video. Like that's, at the time, that was a lot of money to me. So that's I used to judge things by what I could afford. So I would go, well, I could afford that, so someone else can afford that. That's the wrong way to do business.
We love when we learn. What the budget is? That's probably one of the first questions.
I didn't know nothing about that. I'm just telling people, yo, and trying to just go, because I'm cheap.
You want bums and seats.
So this guy who always used to buy my music, still buys my music to this day, hits me up and he goes, I want you to do a video for me, for my company. So I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, man, I can do that. And I'm going over what I'm gonna do. And he goes, I tell him, yeah, how much it will cost. I say, yeah, it'll cost £250. He goes, no. He goes, I'm gonna pay you 10 grand to do the video. And then I'm gonna pay you another 10 to do another video. So I'm like, what? What are you talking like? Because again, my mind can't even comprehend what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's real.
And he's breaking it down to me. He's like, what you don't understand is you're undercutting yourself. You have a skill that we're going to these other companies to do that you're doing, that you've taught yourself, and you're not giving yourself you're not valuing yourself how you should be.
You're not valuing yourself at all.
So he was he's from the UK, but he was in America.
You know, 10 grand, £250 and 10 grand is a whole different.
Crazy, but it's the same thing.
It's mad.
The same. You're doing the same exact thing.
Yeah, that's right.
But you're not valuing yourself in the same way. So he flew over to the UK. We had a meeting, and he was just breaking things down to me. And from that day, it just changed how I saw everything. And the way I moved in business, even with that company, I don't really run it anymore. But from how I was just moving with it was just totally different. And then things just started changing, and I just started moving in different directions. And then the rap stuff. Like doing music for, I think the video I did after that, the very next video was for 2 grand.
Crazy.
And even with that, I was like, man, I've seen this money now. That ain't even, you know what I mean? That was for one of Kylie Minogue's artists. And then I'm just in different spaces. And I feel like these are the things that we come from valuing our art as this. We're just from the ends, innit, man? We just rap and we just do this, and it's like,
but we don't check it.
Yo. I just quickly looked over there, right? I swear to you, I looked at Jojo for a split second. You know that meme? You know that gif of the African you? I think he's older than he looks.
Yeah, I know that.
And he's with the calculator. And he's like, I swear, it's like numbers are floating over Jojo's head. Like, hold on a minute.
Maybe.
So right, and then cool. I want this guy to win, man.
There's paper there.
It's there, man. It's like
so. So what you're telling me is that's what's been keeping you afloat.
It was for a little while. It was for a little while, and then I switched over. The music started doing what I wanted it to do, and I'd say, to be fair, I'd say that the voiceovers and the adverts, and also I do writing for. So I do like writing for publishing companies. So that kind of. Again, it just gives you like a
base.
Money's sorted. Now I can have fun and do the stuff I want to do.
Like avenues, streams.
Because a lot of times, man, sometimes you got ideas, and I had ideas for years, but I didn't have any money, so I got no time. So like, you remember when I was selling CDs on the streets, right?
Yes, I remember.
Right. So at that time, I was selling CDs because I had rent to pay.
Yes.
So I didn't even have time to make music those times. So between 2006 and like 2009, I wasn't really making music like that.
Really?
Or maybe like 2008 maybe. Yeah. Because I was just like, rent's got to get paid. I've got CDs to sell.
Yeah.
And I was out there just selling CDs, and you might have ideas, but there's no space. And sometimes all you need is a breather. Like, yo, give me some room so I know that the rent is dealt with, mortgage is dealt with, and I can kind of like work on these ideas.
Right.
And that's the difference that, again, a lot of people that come from different backgrounds have. And I try my best to give my kids that as well, to let them know that I want you to give me ideas, man. The one thing I would love is for my daughters to come to me and say, Dad, I've got this business plan. I just need some money to get off the ground.
Sick.
I'd be like, yeah, cool, you got that. I don't care if it wins, loses, I don't care.
As long as they're,
It's the
just
fact they presented it.
think that way. Because
Think that way.
we don't, again, I do a lot of youth work, and a lot of the things that the young people that we're working with, we're trying to tell them, we're like, yo, you can do this, man, you can reach the moon. But it's like, bro, my dad's in jail, my mum's an alcoholic, I don't have time for this. I'm trying to survive today.
First.
Yeah, and it's like giving them opportunities to just be like, yo, let me just make your life slightly easier, give you some more breathing room so you can actually do the things you want to do. Because, we can all achieve it, cool. But we're not all in the place to be able to achieve it. And that's part of a lot of the youth work I do, is really just trying to give young people that space.
I think it's very important for us at this stage in our lives to give back in that way, where we have the experience now and we have the know-how, and we let the younger generation coming up, the younger generation that create, understand that there's so many different ways that they can achieve what they want to. And I feel like, again, back to sticking to one particular thing, that's again that's a hindrance. That's very close-minded. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like I've always been trying to think outside of the box for the longest time, which is why I'm doing a podcast. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Because I just felt like there's enough information that I've had, and there's a lot of people that I've met along the way that now I can bring it together and go, okay, cool. Listen, let's share your experiences. Let the audience see that there's possibilities in more than one particular place, in particular spaces. So again, commend you for that, man. Do you know what I mean? And this is why I wanted to talk to you today about your journey and how you saw yourself from before until now. How do you feel like going forward now at this point in time? What do you think the next step for you is in terms of where you want to be in the next 5 to 10?
So I kind of touched on it when I first started. So when I came into the game, the idea was always like, fuck the industry, right? Mm-hmm. So it was always just, the industry's fake. They're all fake. We're all real. We're spitting real bars. I remember I got like diss songs to like N-dubs and random, you know what I mean? Because they're too pop.
Yeah. I had a Rizzle Kicks one.
See?
Remember that?
And because our minds were set in a way that anyone who stepped out of that box, like, nah, what you doing?
You're a sellout.
Yeah.
You're going to pop. You're going to commerce. Yeah.
And I feel like there was like a 20th anniversary, I think it was THTC, did their 20th anniversary hip hop event. And I remember being at it, and I'm talking to everyone there, and like friends, and I mean, we've been around each other forever. And I'm sitting, I'm like, wait, oh shit, I'm industry. Like, oh, everyone's industry. Like, you're a writer now, you're a journalist, you work for a label, you do that. Like, we're actually the industry now. We are. And then when I went to, recently I went to the Great Escape in Brighton, and I'm just again around more industry people, but I'm like, these are the people that we should want to be in the industry. These are guys who came from the same place we came from. And for some reason, like, our elders in UK hip hop, they didn't want to do that.
No.
And I don't know why, but they missed the trick.
Yeah.
And our thing has to be, nah. This is the way to do things correctly.
Yeah.
Because what we're saying when we say we're staying out the industry, we're staying out the corporates and all that kind of stuff, what we're saying is we're not reaping the benefits from the work we put in.
Of course.
The labels are reaping the benefits. So what, you want to make the music, but you don't want the money from it. No, they're making the money from your, like, these Spotify, Apple, all these places exist, make millions, billions from
easy.
TikTok. Billions, from what we do. And we just throw it out there like
willy-nilly.
No, we're supposed to be there to catch it. Like, what are you talking about? 100. And get the next lot in. So I think, like, the position I'm in now, where I see myself in the future, is really just. I made a joke the other day to someone. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to be the next Jay-Z, and it's like, yeah, nah, not that way, but that way. You know what I mean, like this is the way you should be thinking. Like, how do you do brand partnerships? How does that work? Right. Like, how can we do more of that? Yeah. How can we put people? It shouldn't just be me getting my voice in adverts. Yeah. How does everyone get their voice in adverts? Like, why aren't everyone else on the bus? Because they're looking for people. Yeah. They're looking for. I hear this all the time. Some of the stuff I do, like even with, like I said, with the. So what will happen with my publishing deal? You work with like a label who want to build a catalog. Right. So they want a catalog of music. So the brief might be, we're looking for Graham tracks, and I'll be like, all right, cool. You're gonna give them 20 Graham track, and you'll hear some of these on adverts, and you'll listen, you'll be like, that song sounds a bit like that other, you know what I mean? Right. But it's not him doing it. Right. Why is it not him doing it? Because the person who did the track did the track for 300 quid, where they didn't want to pay gets to do the actual track, right? Because it costs a lot more money. Wow. Right. Yeah. So it just even understanding that infrastructure. Well, how do we say, no, don't send me a brief and say we want a track that sounds like that. Yeah. Go give my man the money to get that. Let him do what he's supposed to do. Yeah. And we're seeing things change, and like even with DWE did the IKEA advert.
Yeah. And he's got a Pepsi one as well, innit?
Yeah, I ain't seen that one yet.
Yeah, he's got a Pepsi one as well. You don't see him. You don't see him. Obviously, it's someone else there, but you can hear DW in the background. Right. Rapping that,
Is that out? No.
Yeah. I think that's the Pepsi advert you see all the time. It's DWE in the background, just buzzing.
Yeah. And those are money. Yeah. So when they're talking about, again, when you're talking about advertising budgets, they're different. So we're not talking, like, even when you talk about the deals you get, so a lot of these rappers are signing deals for like 30 grand, 40 grand might be, that's a good deal. Yeah. If you're getting that for your bonus, that's a really good deal. Yeah. But the budgets for adverts, you're talking, they're starting at $1 million.
Yeah.
Like, especially if it's a worldwide advert, come on, it's different. So to me, it's like, well, those kind of opportunities, especially with DW, that was a really good one, because what it was like, what if we let the creator do his thing,
just create
in his way, and don't change nothing. Yeah. Let him add all these little things, but you don't know what that means. Don't worry about it. It's gonna work. Yeah. And you need more of that. You need more people in these places saying, creators, go create, do your thing, rather than having execs jump in.
It's funny you say that, right? It's gonna lead into a question I got for you. It's funny you say that because, like, we know, those who know about IKEA know. IKEA is a good place to go to shop to get little things for the house, the crib, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But then when you throw DWE, because IKEA is a worldwide known brand.
Yeah.
But when you throw DWE on top of that, you're now hitting a demographic that wasn't even checking. They was probably checking Argos is the only place to go to buy these things. Yeah. Now they're hearing that voice. I know that voice. I've raved. I've taken pictures with that. I follow that voice. Yep. Now they're hearing the IKEA advert. They're like, oh, whoa, let me see what this IKEA thing is. And next thing you know, they're like, raw, IKEA's got some bits here. I ain't going to Argos again. I'm going to IKEA off the back of hearing a recognizable voice. Yeah. It's like with Arby's in America. Yeah. They've got Pusha T to do an advert for them about their fish sandwich. Yeah. And it has just, no one was talking about Arby's prior to that. Now everyone is talking about Arby's because Pusha T, a credible artist, was allowed to do what he does, as G just said, create. And you think that could have been on an album or something like that, but it's an advert for a fast food chain and their fillet of fish, right? Now, my question to you is there's this stigma that hip-hop is for a certain demographic.
Yeah.
Really? But then, still. Yeah. You know, it's poor people's music, struggle music, whatever, cool. But then, when it comes to adverts, if you see 10 adverts in a day, 9, I'm going to say between 8 and 9 of them are using some sort of hip-hop element.
100%.
To promote their stuff.
100%.
What's your thought on that while they're very against the hip-hop
well, hip hop's a culture, but rap. Let's talk about the music genre. Rap. They're very anti-rap in regards to like we only want to listen to specific artists and stuff like that. What's your opinion on the rap genre and the culture of hip hop is used on selling a lot of these products right now?
We're the only people who don't get our value.
Yeah.
We're the only ones who don't understand how valuable it is what we do. So when you're talking about like even Asda had a drill track recently.
Yeah, I heard that.
Right?
Yeah.
So they understand the value of what we do. They understand the aesthetic of the hood.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether you think the hood is good, bad, or whatever, we know it's cool.
Right.
And it sells.
Yeah.
And my only problem is, if you're going to sell me, I should also reap the benefits.
Of course. Yeah. Of course.
And that's where the disconnect has been.
Right.
So we've had that for so long where people have seen, yo, that works. That's really cool. That works. Even with little, like, go back to like, think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Right?
One of the greatest things ever made.
Right? Was like, you know what I mean?
Those are jiggers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
Cool.
Even Splinter.
Come on, man. It's NY, New York, you know the vibe. You know what's cool about what we do, but it's never sold.
Yeah.
We never reap the benefits that way.
Yeah.
So I feel like now we're in a space where, like, that's why having more people in boardrooms that can really facilitate us benefiting from that is the way to go.
Because there is a massive disconnect.
Yeah.
There is a massive disconnect. I see it all the time, and I feel like we need to infiltrate a lot more. I just think the UK as well, because we had a conversation with Ashley Walters, and he was just obviously talking about the disconnect that he went through, and it's like it's specific to the UK because let's take the example of what happened to him with the traffic warden, right? In America, if he was that story went out in America that he'd gone to do something to a traffic warden and ended up in prison, he'd be famous when he came out.
Yeah.
He'd be the next 50 Cent.
He'd be a martyr.
He'd be
dead. Freak ass.
But in the UK, it's like they like that element of, it's a
something
bit,
to talk about.
It's a bit but when it's time for it to transition into money,
opportunities and stuff.
Do you know what I mean? No, we don't want that. We don't. So yeah. I'm just.
You got a demographic problem though. So in America, this is the thing we forget, man. Because number one, we live in cities, So when we walk around, we see people that look like us. So we just think the whole country's like that. No, it's not. We're still 3%.
If that, we're
Right.
lucky.
So we don't even. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
America's very different. You've got people in power, black people in power that can give people opportunities.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? We haven't got it over here yet. It's like
token.
Yeah, man. And it's only really recently we got people in places. Yeah. And you're seeing the change. The change is happening because, again, like, we move the needle. And if you let the creators create, things are going to happen. But one of the things we've had over here is racism doesn't just hold down people of color. Racism holds back progression for everybody.
100%.
Right. So I always say that like black liberation is liberation of everybody. Because when we start going Black Lives Matter, everyone else starts going, yo, we matter too. And then everyone was like, well, you weren't talking before.
You wasn't.
He was quiet. He was getting, you know what I mean?
everything was sweet.
Cool.
And
it's the same thing with when you talk about the entertainment industry over here. They're starting to realize that, oh wait, if we put black people in our products, we just do better. It just makes more money.
Yeah.
I saw someone complain one time about black people on, I think it was a Barclays advert. And it was like, you know how every time you put black person advert, it goes crazy. And I was explaining to this guy, and I was just saying, like, if you understood how much research goes in to the marketing departments in these companies, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, of
So
course.
if they're putting black people in an advert, they know that that's going to help their bottom line.
100%.
You don't get it because you live in some sticks place, where you don't know no black people.
Probably sleeping with his sister or something.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just for real. Like, that's what, you know what I mean? But you don't know they know where the money comes
Yeah,
from. The money comes from the cities where we are. Like we help things move, and you lot haven't figured that out yet.
It's true.
And there's still that idea, this fallacy that they used to drop before, like, oh, we had it before, so black music doesn't sell, which is why you had black music had their own radio stations, and then we started doing our own thing. Then they're like, oh, it does sell. Oh, we need to bring that all in. Like, you're part of us now.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when you say rap is black music, like, oh, you can't say that.
Yeah.
It's urban. It's urban.
Urban.
Cool. They
the
flipped.
dirtiest word in the music industry.
Same thing with the movies now.
Yeah.
Nah, black people don't go. They don't sell.
They don't. Yeah.
Black Panther. What happens there?
Killed it.
Right. So there's all these ideas that they don't even come from white people, because the majority of white people, they don't really. It's a good film. It's a good music. I'm listening.
They're
rolling.
not checking for that.
Cool. It's like it's these execs that have these ideas in their head of like what the real world is like, and they're holding back progression.
That's mad.
One of these things you see, I'll say to my wife all the time, when you're watching these old movies, right? Old 70s movies or whatever. I love my blaxploitation movies. But there's always a part, where like the white guy goes to the black neighborhood and then was like, hey, honky, what you doing over here? Because the white exec and the white person who wrote it, that's how they think it really is in the hood. And I'm like, it would never be that way ever.
It'd never be that way.
Never. Like, so where does that come from? And that goes through the whole industry.
That comes from the disconnect.
The Fast Food Podcast.
I go by the name of Morgan Heights. Trimmer, who's got the keys to my bimmer, Drizzy, Saka Freckles. We are back for a brand new season 5 of the Fast Food Podcast. Remember, it is available on all DSPs, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Podcasts. Visual episodes are available on our YouTube channel. That is Fast Food Podcast TV. Peace.
But I got too much pride. Yeah.